My friend Anton Shulke has done 600 live webinars. He, I believe, is the best at organizing live events, at live streams and podcasts. Learn behind the scenes. We just recorded a whole hour together where he shared everything, and you get to learn it all for free. Welcome to a special edition of the Coach U Show. Today, we have the head of influencer marketing from Duda, a good friend of mine I've known since 2015. Normally, he's the one behind the scenes, behind the screen, but he's going to share some secrets on how to do influencer marketing for your company. And I've known him for many years. He's brought on all the biggest guests in internet marketing and SEO and PPC. And he's going to share with us how he's able to round up these influencers and be able to create content with them live through webinars, podcasts, videos, other sorts of content. Anton, welcome to the show.
Very nice to be here with you, and thanks for having me. Yeah, everything you said is probably exaggeration. So I'll try to answer any questions or tell you anything you want to know. With a couple of private exceptions, I can't tell.
So Anton's very humble, and being behind the scenes, he interviews all the top leaders in our space. I've seen everyone on the shows that he's had, so I think it's a great honor to be able to interview you and finally put you on the spot and ask you questions.
It's a bit unusual. I have to admit. So it's kind of I'm not really feel 100% what I usually do, but why not? I think it should be a great experience. Let's go for it.
So tell everybody, what is your secret to being an influencer marketer? You know, hurting influencers, right? You have a cat that eats the back of your chair, but you're also hurting all these other influencers. What is that like, and what is that role?
This is something you cannot scale, and a lot of companies want to scale because my previous employee actually really want to scale it. Okay, so for example, you can talk to 20 influencers. You can't talk to 2,000. But they think, oh, how can we do it for 2,000? Just let's scale it. And this is very difficult. I would think it's impossible to scale. This is a major secret. So I try to talk to you as to Dennis, you. Well, so sorry for it. Just this kind of this you, I didn't mean it. You probably hear that 10,000 times already, and you're sick of this job. So I'm trying to talk to you as Dennis, as I know. You used to be a Facebook guru, now you're a Twitter guru, and I'm following you and I'm reading your tweets and everything. And this is a secret. So I don't know everything about you, but I know something about you, and this is a secret. I think it's all personal. This is what you do. Like, if you remember, John F. Kennedy said, it's not a question what your country can do for you, it's a question what you can do for your country. To rephrase it, it's not a question what influencer can do for you. They can do a lot of things, but it's a question what you can do for influence, what you can offer influencer, and you have to start with that. And after that, it's no problem, because as soon as I'm friend with you and we can just normal talk and everything, of course I can squeeze a lot of influence from you for my previous company, for my current company, for anything. But the main thing is to establish a relationship, because if you don't, it's like you've seen it probably 10 times more than I do. But in LinkedIn, someone just ask for friendship in LinkedIn or whatever they call it, get in and immediately try to sell you something. We all hate it. Why people still do it? I think it doesn't work. It shouldn't work. Yeah. I understand if someone jump into your LinkedIn and say, hey guy, I just wanted to give you a gift, I don't know, $1,000, I don't know, oh, great hat. And it's not advertisement, I don't want anything in return. Just have it because you're a great guy. Why not? Yeah, sure. And after that, obviously you can talk and everything. But people just going and trying to sell you or trying to squeeze you out, and they have no right for that, actually.
So what is it? Go ahead.
No, I try not to do that. I do a lot of LinkedIn things. So I see someone he's yeah, interesting stuff, or someone I might be interested in the future. And I try to get contact and everything. But you don't try to sell something immediately. You just go and try to investigate what the guy or girl does and see this kind of things. And it's, I think for me, it's absolutely obvious, isn't it?
It's obvious. Almost nobody does it. Everyone's so busy selling and asking immediately for favors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So some guys just jumping into my say, oh, we're selling this. Would you be interested? Probably not. You don't even read my profile. Out of my profile, probably I even make an experiment. I put it in my profile. I don't buy guest posts. What did I have at the end? I have more people offering me guest posts because probably they use a search. And search pick up guest posts from my profile, and they didn't bother to read. They just start saying, and so I remove it, and I had less offer for guest posts. But I don't buy guest posts from it.
Yeah, just like you don't buy friendship. You have the real friendship.
The old English, they had word acquaintance, and people, they don't use it anymore as far as I know. But friend, you can't have many friends. In terms of friend, I don't know. You have to live with a guy or girl for a long time to call it friend. Now friendship is like we have Facebook friends, we have LinkedIn friends, all these friends. So what friendship is slightly devalued, I think. So for me, it's kind of, I'm splitting people I know and friends. It's slightly different.
Fair enough. Now, in your new role at Duda, you're working with other influencers. Tell me how do you measure that role and what's in that? What do you do in organizing influencers?
Well, I wouldn't absolutely agree that they're different ones. So most of my previous influencers, if you put it this way, were a SEO community. And I think SEO community quite relevant for Duda as well, because Duda is a site builder and it's professional site builder. So professional means not for professional web designers, but for guys who use their websites as a profession, as a business, who lives from their websites. And why do they have websites for? They want to sell something at the end of the day. So in order to sell something, first, what do you need? Without that, you can't sell it. You need some traffic. If you have fantastic product, great site, but now no one is clicking on your website, you can't sell anything. You can't even send $1 million for $20 because nobody knows it. So you need traffic. If you need traffic, you need what? What do you need? You need SEO, you need PPC, you need content marketing and social marketing. It's all you need. So all these people I used to, they're very relevant. Of course, there are many more influencers relevant, and I'm just into that to understand who else might be. Because Dennis, for example, who you are. Dennis, you know a lot about SEO. You know a lot about, well, I wouldn't call it PPC, paid traffic. Put it this paid traffic, and I'm pretty sure you know a lot of social stuff. I'm not sure about content, but I'm pretty sure you know thing or two. So who you are? How would you call yourself? How would you describe yourself?
I drive sales. I don't care what the channel is. We're building relationships. It could be SEO or PPC or YouTube or text messaging. Those are all just different mediums to be able to connect with other people and build relationships. So when TikTok,
so you're kind of modern salesman, 21st century salesman. Is it correct description?
I'm selling without doing the ugly things that salespeople do, which is immediately ask for the sale, ask for the money.
Yes, sales sounds not great. It's almost like a traffic warden salesman. Yes, people say salesman because people think about salesman. Someone try to sell you something you don't want, you don't need, and you never wanted to have.
It solves a problem, and that means you have to listen. So if you listen carefully, and you offer a solution, and it's education, people don't see it as sales. People will pay us for the selling. See, look, we publish these books on how to do step-by-step checklist things. And so they don't see it as that. They see it as education, right? It's not selling because they get access to me or get access to people who are highly trained and very skillful. People want to pay money to talk to people like us, right? That's the difference between a salesperson who's just trying to get you on the phone for 15 minutes and give you a sales pitch versus someone who actually cares, which is, I think,
Yeah, absolutely. I remember Brad Geddes, PPC, big PPC authority, said people think everyone hates advertisement, commercial. But it's not true. People hate irrelevant advertisement.
yeah.
But if it's relevant, you click on it. This is the difference. Yeah, of course. And if you offer someone solution, yeah, we all gonna pay money. It's what we do. We pay money for something we do need, and the bad salesman try to force us to pay money for something we don't need. Something might be not even crap, but just you don't really need it. Yeah. So talking about influencer, I'm just second month. On my new job, Duda. So I clearly see that my old influence are very, very, very relevant. So I'm keep working with him, but I would need some more people in. So maybe web designers, agency people, agency who do full stack, including web design and everything. And I need some more SaaS people. I came from SaaS industry myself, so I supposed to know them, but I was so much concentrated on SEO, so I don't really know many SaaS people. And SEO, for example, has an SEO community, very clear SEO community. When people know each other, when people communicate, you go to Twitter, you pick up Twitter from someone who is prominent in this community, like Barry Schwartz or Barry Adams, for example. And after a couple of days reading it, you can probably find out who is in the community. With, for example, SaaS people, I'm not really sure. Maybe they do have common, maybe they don't. Haven't figured it out, but I will.
Yeah, it's a different community, completely different, but they do have conferences like SaaStr, and you have people like Jason Lemkin and other people that have started SaaS companies, or Nathan Latka, that they do have other figureheads as opposed to like Neil Patel or whatever with SEO. But Anton, let me ask you a question. For everyone in our audience who isn't as well connected as you, right? Right now, you can ask a favor of me, and you know I'm going to say yes because we've known each other a long time and because we all know the same kind of people, right? You've asked me to retweet something. I'm happy to retweet that because we have a lot of trust. And I know that you're an expert. You're not just some random person on the internet. Before you knew all the key people in SEO, how did you build connections? How did you build a network? Because a lot of the people in our community, they're professionals maybe, but they're not as well networked at the very top like you are in a particular field.
Well, I started with with position zero. When I started in 2015, I was actually employed to arrange a series of webinars, mainly SEO, but not only SEO, digital marketing webinars for absolutely unknown Ukrainian company. And how did I start? First, I read Twitter and everything, but I didn't really understand things. So first, I looked a couple of guys who published a book recently, and I approached them, absolutely cold approach from a guy who has no history, nothing, and say, look, well, how about we do a webinar? I have a great audience. I did have some kind of audience. It wasn't particularly huge, but it was very responsive. How we gonna, and maybe we can push your book. People usually were very open for this kind of things. So I managed to get couple of guys on my sheet. And after that, it's much easier. I was extremely lucky to get Joe Pulitzer, and Joe Pulitzer is still one of my content marketing, I don't want to say guru, but someone who really knows the stuff. And he's brilliant storyteller as well. So I managed to get him. And after that, it was kind of easy because you go, for example, you go to Dennis, you said, oh, Dennis, I want to have a live event with you. I don't really want webinar. It's like a salesman has bad feeling nowadays. I want to have a live stream with you, and you can talk about. Okay, when we met, you were on Facebook. This is $1 a day advertisement. I remember. So I said, it's a great topic. Let's talk. And you probably think, I'm not sure because I don't know it. I said, look, I already have Joe Pulitzer, but Barry Schwartz, for example, for SEO. I said, okay, Barry Schwartz, why not? Yeah, it's a good gallery. So, and after that, I put you, or Larry Kim, or you and Larry Kim, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And after that, it's much easier. You go to people and say, look, guys, I already have those people, and they like it and everything. You can have a look at it. Episodes. Why don't you join it? and it worked for me. But obviously, everything I said previously, I think still apply. You can't really just go to guy. You have no idea who is it. And I've done this as well, honestly, many times when I started just go and start offer, and after that realize he or she is not really in this industry, just completely mixed. So you try to understand who this person is and everything. And if someone says no, well, okay, it's a life. I still get some no's from time to time. Yeah, it's normal. It doesn't mean that you have to say, okay, no, just forget about this person. He's a bad person. Put it blacklisted. No, because you need them to be on your show. For example, if you do show, then you can't really say, it's a crap guy. He said to me no. But if you do it consistently, you grow in, and for example, you get a good show, and after that, people queue in to do show with you, for example. So when I was at SEMrush, obviously being a SEMrush has already brand in the industry, and SEO. This is much easier. You go to someone who doesn't know. So I'm SEMrush. It's easier. If you don't have it, as what I said, you can say, "Oh, I've already done those guys. Why don't you do it?" It works, but it takes time. It's of course, you can go and pay people. If you have a lot of money, you can go and pay, and probably you can get absolutely everyone. I remember I wanted to get Richard Branson with absolutely no success. And they asked me, I can't say how much, astronomical amount of money, absolutely almost $1 million.
I've seen other people pay $700,000 to get Richard Branson to speak.
Okay, I still don't. So guys, don't ask me that amount of money. And yeah, okay. So just I was not on that level. SEMrush probably would never pay $750,000 for anyone, because just I think it's not worth it. I would rather have Dennis Yu and Larry Kim than Richard Branson for $1 million.
Well, I think Larry Kim and Dennis Yu know more about PPC and SEO than Richard Branson.
Obviously, Richard Branson has absolutely no idea about it, but Richard Branson would be fantastic guest, but you just can't get it. And I can't get Lady Gaga either. Okay, no problem. I can live with that.
But when you get the experts who actually use your tools, so I was actually using SEMrush before it became popular. And now that you moved to Duda, I imagine a lot of these people are Duda customers, or because of the relationships you have, that they're willing to consider that one. Otherwise, there's a lot of website building tools and companies out there.
Yeah, there are plenty of site builders. It's a huge competition, and obviously one site builder is still kind of on a top, which is WordPress, and almost half of the websites built on WordPress, and everyone want to eat a little bit of WordPress clients. We know how it is. It's very, very rare you have someone kind of monopolize everything. Even saying that, I thought about, okay, Google has monopolized search, or Facebook basically has monopolized social. So we'll see. But I'm pretty sure most of a good site builders, they find their space. And Duda was in a business for 11 now years, and Duda has almost 1 million sites right now working on Duda. 920,000 or something sites, active sites. So it's not too bad. It's small, obviously, if you look at WordPress, but it's not that small. It's not just nothing.
What would cause you to want to work for Duda when the clear, most prominent choice in building websites is using WordPress? You're fighting an uphill battle.
I talked to several big customers, they're mostly agencies. Now, big customer in terms of how many sites they produce a month, not about their own size. And I talked to one guy, and he said, so one day they were handling WordPress sites for their customers, and they were hacked once and twice and 3 times, and eventually he said he couldn't hold, because it's when you only care about 1 or 2 sites, it's kind of easy to fix. But when you have like 250 sites and you have problem here, problem there. Just so he said they within 3 weeks they moved 250 sites from WordPress to Duda, and security issues stopped. Now I talked to him a couple of days ago, and he said now it's 700 sites that they moved from WordPress to Duda. So for him, security was the main issue. Many other agencies I talked to, they said actually scalability. So it's as I said, when you take care of one site, two sites, a few sites, no problem. Or if you want to build a couple of sites, no problem. And if you WordPress or any other site build and you need two sites. Okay, just go and do it. It's no real point for you to move to something you don't know. But if you care about many sites, if you have a lot of clients, or if you expect to have a lot of clients, this is a different story. Because maybe today you have two clients a month and you do it, but tomorrow hopefully you'll have 10 or 20 or 20,000. So it's much easier to scale everything when you have Duda instead of WordPress. I'm not an expert on many, but this is a major idea: scalability and security.
So let's say that you're an SEO expert and now you switch to Duda, which is more about websites and scalability and security and all kinds of technical things, which you know something about, but you're not a pro at. How do you do influencer marketing for a company where you're not a deep pro in what they offer? Because it's only just like fun.
You learn. Yeah, you try to learn. And first thing I do, as I said, I ask my new colleagues who are your big clients, and I just arrange a call and ask why did you choose Duda? So tell me, okay, I'm Duda, you not Duda, you with Duda for 7 years and I'm with Duda for 7 days. Explain me why you choose Duda. And I got a lot of interesting things, and I obviously still have to learn. Well, about learning, if you don't learn anything today, then it's just a wasted day, and it doesn't matter what your age and experience. Yeah, I'm absolutely unexperienced in that field, so I have to learn really a lot of. But even when you expert in something, you still have to learn. If you don't learn, people will just go over and you lose your position in business, isn't it?
What steps would you advise our community if they want to start an influencer marketing program and their company's not well known, just like when you started at SEMrush or even Duda, which is small relative to the other folks? How would someone start an influencer marketing program?
Well, I always saying that live streams, webinars, whatever you call them, online conference and everything, or podcast, is extremely good tool for influencer marketing. Why? Most of influencers, whatever they influence, they want to talk, they want to express. Small or big influence, they want to express. Okay, when influencers doing, I don't know, 200 live events a year, it's a different story, of course. But regular influencers, they don't do that many, and most of them, they do want to express themselves. And influencers also like being a good company as well. So, for example, if you do live stream and you have 4 of them, and they kind of respect each other, or what you can do, if you have someone reasonably close and you collect Anchor who's maybe slightly bigger, slightly more prominent, so you put as Anchor, and after that you add another 3 people. Why I say 3? Usually we don't do more than 4 people. Otherwise, if you have 20,000 people on the screen, most of them, they would have no time to speak up and express their opinion, and it's bad. So you need to let people speak. And influencers, they do like it. They do like it. They like to be into a company of others. They like a conversation. And actually, some conversation even better when we press button off. So now we're doing a recording now. After that, you press button off, and we probably still have like 10 or 15 minutes. And this is absolutely precious time. You don't have to sell anything, but this time you have to steal a soul of influence. You steal a soul, you have a soul. After that, you can do whatever you want.
The largest live stream that you've ever done, a webinar?
Yeah, okay. I was I'm proud of it, and it wasn't my. So usually I just do it from everything, but this was huge product for SEMrush, a huge project, sorry, for SEMrush. We have Global Marketing Day in 2019, and it was 24 hours. 24 hours. It was 24 hours live stream, but it was kind of mixture. It was before coronavirus, so mixture was possible. So we have offices. We have office in Australia. We have office in London, in New York, and in San Francisco. If I remember correctly, you were in the San Francisco office, and so every speaker were physically in the office, and it was 24 hours. But all the spectators were online. We have like 56,000 registrations for that event. Yeah, it was well, and I was part of the team. It was a reasonably big team in SEMrush doing it, and on a day of it, I was in a back room, and 24 hours we didn't sleep. For longer than 20, because you start a couple hours before, and after that you don't just drop after it's finished. But I remember when we have San Francisco, and it was just a couple of hours to go, and we can see steep drop, because we started in the United States, we started in New York, and we kind of thought, okay, it's New York, and after that San Francisco, but obviously only 3 hours difference. So most of the people think they start with New York, and you can't really stay for 6 hours watching it. So we start dropping. So in order to prevent this dropping, I went to my Australian friends who already woke up and say, "Yeah, guys, it's still on." And they say, "How could it be on? It started yesterday." So yes, it started yesterday, but it started. Yeah, and I got some Australian audience, which just was up. Yeah, and it was a real fun. We wanted to do it next year, but coronavirus just completely destroyed it.
That was an incredible event. I remember flying into San Francisco and going into the studio that you had there, and everything was set up professionally. I thought, wow, how much money did Anton spend in putting on this event?
I didn't spend any. It was all SEMrush, and I said it was a big team. But SEMrush did spend some money, surely.
Yeah. And talk to us about, maybe not all the people in our community want to try to do a 24-hour continuous live stream because of logistics, but just in general, talk to us about the logistics of how you set up these kinds of events. Getting the guests together, getting everyone to promote it, what happens during the live stream, repurposing the content afterwards. Like, walk me through the process beginning to end of how you do an event.
You mean huge event, or just normal? Because beside a huge event, we were doing, always just normal live stream. We were doing, and we will be doing for Duda, but we also were doing something which we called mega webinars, which is like 5 hours of SEO, for example, or 5 hours of technical SEO, or 5 hours of content marketing, which we have 7-8 sessions back to back. How do you do it? First, you think, why you doing it? This is a major question. Most of the people I've noticed they don't answer the question for you. For example, 24 hours event, why did we do it? Honestly, we did it because we wanted to prove everyone we can do it. Yeah, I know it sounds bad from marketing point of view. I should say we did it for brand awareness and everything. We did it because we wanted to prove ourselves and the rest of the world, to community we can do. So this was a major purpose. Whatever event you do, you think, why you do it? Why you do it? For example, I'm planning a couple of webinars for Duda, and Bing will be part of it, and Google will be part of another one. Why do I do this? Because I want to impress community. Which community I want to impress? I want to impress SEO community because I know them. I can bring them. So it's what I want to do, because they never heard about Duda. They heard about SEMrush. So SEMrush was different story. Here, I want to impress first community. I know SEO community. They are relevant, as I mentioned. So I'll try to arrange a couple of webinars, which mainly to impress community of experts. So it depends what you do your event, because if you can answer you very clearly, then it's reasonably clear what should I do. So for example, if I want to impress community, how can I impress community? Most of experts, they know everything, or they think they know everything. So with the content, with the topics and details, very, very difficult to impress experts, extremely difficult. So what you do, you impress it with the personality. You bring personality who already got respect. So, and you think, and people think, wow, those people are doing this, it should be something. So but if you want to get audience, so you have to probably not probably, obviously you should know your audience. So for example, SEMrush audience were very, very practical. If at the end of the webinar, you won't give them a couple of things, couple of tools they can really just do immediately and see the result, they would be disappointed. So kind of highbrow discussion, audience wouldn't really like it. I remember when I joined SEMrush, we were doing just typical webinars, one presenter, long presentation, and 10-15 minutes question after it. And people get used to it. So we introduced completely new format, which we call hybrid format. And it was a short presentation. And after that, we have more people there, and it's discussion. And our audience, we can see steep drop. So audience watch presentation and after that disappear because they thought, oh, it's blah, blah, blah. It's just no worth it. But we were pushing. And after that, we think we kind of teach our audience that conversation could be as practical and as useful, especially if you can ask live question and everything. And after 3 or 4 months of doing this, it was no the steep drop of audience after that. So when you're doing it for audience, you should obviously know. But this is always, I'm saying something which everyone knows, know your audience. So, but you know your audience very, very clearly. So what your audience would not only what kind of questions, but what kind of format as well. So if you do it for audience, for example, then you have to really go and get to nitty-gritty things. And get expert, maybe not as famous, but expert who is doing these things every day and who knows the answer. We have this webinar with Andy Christadina, and Andy got 15 minutes or 20 minutes of presentation, and after that, most of the time he spent just picking up sites, and it was on a conversion. So he was going, why site convert or not convert? What should you do? And he just picked up sites from public and just trying to examine them, not audit, but examine it and say this. And it was very practical. It was enormous amount of questions because it really resonates with audience. So it depends what to do. So I gave you right now three different reasons we've done this. So the first reason was just to show everyone we can do 24 hours. So another one for influencer marketing, you have to please influencer. So the main idea, so for example, I done a webinar with you and webinar goes rocket on a YouTube, for example, and you like it, and you come back and you said, wow, can we do another one?
Yeah.
This is it. This is a moment of truth. You get your target, because your target was to please your influence. Probably I'm saying very controversial things. So because sometimes I did explain to my bosses why I'm doing this webinar. I'm doing to please Mr. X. I said, what, you're doing webinar for one guy or one girl? I said, yeah, of course you're not bringing stupid topic, so audience would say, stupid, idiotic webinar. Of course you have to hit several targets, audience as well, but still, for example, for influencer marketing, you're doing it for influencers, actually. And sometimes you bring in interesting influencers together, and they never met each other. And some big friendships start from webinar. I'm pretty sure you have it before, not on my webinars, but my
yours. Yeah, I met Jason Barnard through you.
Oh, well, see,
I never heard of him, and then he was on a webinar. I think it was you, me, and him, and we went back and forth. And later I thought, wow, I need to talk to this guy. Who is this guy? And then later he interviewed me on his podcast, and I'm interviewing him. And so you've created so much value by helping people like me that now I know I can ask you and you'll be on my podcast.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, it's exactly this part. What can you do for your influencer? What can you do? You can actually make two influencers who are big guys and smart guys and everything, but they didn't know each other. You can't know everyone. So you put them together, and for you it's extreme value because you deliver something for both of them.
Yeah. But then how do you create value for Duda or SEMrush or the company that you're working for? Because then it looks like, well, you're just out here helping other people promote themselves. So you've got to be able to balance that, right?
Yeah, of course. But again, depends what you want to achieve. With SEMrush, when I already had a brand and I had a brand in the industry, all SEO people, most of SEO people already knew what a SEMrush, now it's pronounced SEMrush is. So we didn't really go for brand awareness or brand recognition. It was already there. So what we try to do, we try to bring influencers, try to please them, and after that we try to convert their out of friends into brand advocate. So, for example, Dennis, you probably never used SEMrush before, but being friend of myself, I said, "Oh, Dennis, look, SEO, it's the best SEO tool." And so Dennis started to investigate, and eventually, hopefully, Dennis became a brand advocate. It's how it works. Obviously, for Duda, we're not on this stage yet. Duda has a lot of stuff. Duda has fantastic product, 11 years of surviving. Duda been actually financed twice, 50 million each, so 100 million of financing. And investor money, they're not giving it easily. And this week, Duda acquired Snipcart. It's e-commerce solution from Canada. So it's a first acquisition. So do they have do they have a lot of clients? I can't disclose, but we're talking about dozens of thousands of agencies clients, not loads. What Duda doesn't have is a brand. There is no such a brand as Duda, because I talked to my friends and I said, I'm moving to Duda, and they said, Duda?
Never heard of
Nobody knows, no brand. So Duda is in a stage when we have to get a brand awareness. How can we get brand awareness? Many things, but from influencer point of view, first influencer should know. So, for example, you never heard about Duda, you don't know about Duda, but now you probably would know. And I'm not trying to sell you Duda and say, hey, Dennis, go and try and play with this and do. It could be done later. Today, I just want you to know what Duda exists and what is this. And this is a goal. And first, I try to deliver it to influencers. So if you know that, you probably mention it later. So you have an enormous amount of. But after that, as soon as you get this, hopefully I can convert people from friends and from people who just hear what do this into brand advocates. Obviously, if you don't deal at all with web design, create sites and everything, you probably won't be a brand advocate because you don't use it. Okay, but a lot of people use it. So first I try to deliver brand awareness, and after that we try to convert. The same idea, basically.
So how do you choose who the influencers are? Wouldn't you mostly want to interview customers, or would you interview other people that are bigger and maybe with the hope that eventually they learn about you to become a customer?
I would probably not I would interview people just for myself, just to understand how they feel and everything. But what I would try to arrange kind of place where people want to go and speak. So right now it doesn't exist. So for SEMrush, we manage it, and people really wanted to be there. I had a lot of requests, people from different, not only SEO people. They said, "Oh, I want to do a webinar with you." So this is I want to achieve, obviously. So some people, but slightly different influencers. So as I said, I want to get to SaaS people. So we'll try to pick up a couple of big or not that big guys. Try to arrange some kind of events and understand what audience can learn, so make it reasonably useful. And after that, hopefully get more people wanted to be with us. And after that, people queuing. I'm pretty sure if you do podcast, for example, and nobody knows about your podcast, so you really pushing and try to get good people, and you most of the time you're open to get anyone. I'm saying anyone. We hopefully we're not in that position. I do have some connection with SEO and PPC people, but with SaaS people, Duda has some connection as well. Duda has big clients. So maybe through the Duda, I can get one or two talking to us. And after that, try to use them as a bite for other people in the same community to get that.
I see a lot of people, they start events or podcasts or live streams and they have nobody showing up. Like I see they go on Facebook Live and there's one person live and it's me because I'm watching. I'm afraid to leave. What do you do to get around the issue a lot of people have where nobody attends their events?
Well, obviously, if you don't have audience already, you don't have mailing list. Mailing list is extremely important. Whatever you say, email. I think email is still the number one for webinar or live stream registration and everything. So if you don't have list for, I don't know, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, it's not going to be easier for sure. And I don't want to say things. Just keep doing right content, and people will come to you. It's not exactly right. You have to build your audience, and okay, Duda has audience already. So Duda has a lot of clients and a big huge mailing list. So we've done this webinar with Andy Christadina, and we have almost 1,000 registrations. So Duda has no problem, but if you do have a problem, then you have to really look at it. Do you have money? Because obviously you know better than I do with paid promotion. Would it be Facebook or something else, YouTube or something? You can get a lot of registration. The major difference between those registration and the registration from your mailing list, attendance rate. So, for example, I can't say about Duda because, but I can say about SEMrush. At SEMrush, people who were on our mailing list and registered, attendance rate was about 30-35%. So 1/3 attend live, which is, I think, good. In terms of we're talking about 1,000 registration, not 20 registration, because if you have very small event, 20 registration, 19 people attended, you have huge attendance rate, but it's still statistical. Yeah. So we have 30-35, but we've noticed for people who were called, so for example, we brought them with Facebook advertisement or YouTube advertisement, attendance rate is half of it. It's like 15, maybe 20% maximum.
Yeah.
So and you have to understand, you have to work it. So if you do have money, then put some money, get some roll going, getting more people. Also bring in good influence, good in terms of big followers, and making them push their own audience, or just use them as a bring it. It brings you more audience, obviously. For SEMrush, a very important thing, very important metrics for us was how many people regularly attend our webinars. This is not influencer marketing. This is about audience. So not really absolute number how we get, how many regulars, and we had this core audience. So we look at the last 3 months, last 3 months of webinars, and if someone registered for 2, we decide, oh, this is a regular, and we look at this, how many people there, and if it's growing up, then we're doing something right. So people attending our webinar again and again, because it's so much easier to get someone who was on your webinar and who love your webinar to attend you again. Obviously, if someone watched your webinar, didn't like it, go away, that's it. You never can get him. You have his email or you don't, makes absolutely no difference. But for people who likes your webinar, it's so much easier to get them back. So you build this core audience, and if it's growing fast or reasonably fast, then you're doing something correct. If you have it and it's not going anywhere, then something is wrong. You have to ask these people why they're not attending webinars again, and if it's shrinking, then it's really something wrong, and you have to really come back to the drawing board and think why people don't want to watch it. But
we have webinars.
But at the beginning, you're absolutely right. It's if no one knows you, you have no money, it is very, very difficult. It's why so many people doing things and nobody watching it. Or for example, nowadays, because of software, it's so easy to do a podcast and with a video version. So almost every podcast now has a video version. With a video version, it's much more difficult to hide, because podcasts, for example, with an audio podcast, I don't know how many downloads. You know how many downloads you have, but I don't. If it's not my post, you always can claim, oh, I have million downloads. And people do that, obviously. But with YouTube, the video version is very difficult. So you click on YouTube and I see, 20 people watch it. Okay, fine, no problem. But you know that. Of course, you can switch it off. But if you switch it off, you kind of sign, okay, nobody's watching me, because otherwise, if you have million views, you would show it. And but video version and podcast video version. I had this talk with in a previous job with our social media people, and they didn't understand the difference between webinar and podcast, because they thought podcast is audio, webinar is video, which is generally true. But as I said, every podcast now has a video version. Yeah. So what's the difference? People think there is no difference. There is huge difference between webinar and podcast, even if you have video version, because podcast, the main version is audio. If audio version, you can't have visuals. Because if you have a presentation, so host has to explain everything which is on the screen. Impossible to comprehend. So you can't have, and also you probably have to have just 2 people, because we've done this mistake before. We've done podcasts when we have 4 people on it, and because we had a video version, everything looked fantastic. But on the audio version, for someone who's listening, he cannot really realize who is talking, because it's 4 people. It's so difficult on audio, and this is a big mistake. So for podcast, most of the successful podcast is just 2 people there, because 2 people you can comprehend who is speaking, especially it's male and female. A webinar, you have a picture, you can have 4 people easily. You have to have presentation, because people or presentation or some sort of presentation, screen share, for example, or something. People like visual. It's why this is a difference between a webinar and podcast. But what people do now, because it's so easy to do both, they do video version, and this video version goes, for example, on YouTube, and people not watching it. Why people not watching it? Because this, for example, like what we do, this is conversational interview stuff, is not exactly YouTube thing. It's my personal opinion. YouTube thing. People in YouTube usually asking what kind of for example, my telephone is locked, for example, and I go to YouTube, so how to unlock particular input to telephone model, and someone probably already has this problem, already made a video, and I'm watching this video. It's much easier for me to watch this video instead of reading the manual how to unlock it. Because it's just I watch it for 2 minutes, it says, I'm done. This kind of video, when 2 people, nobody knows them. I don't want to say nobody knows you, but in YouTube, if you look at the millions and millions of YouTube subscribers, very few people know Dennis. Nobody knows Anton Shulke. People know who Lady Gaga or Barack Obama. If you interview Barack Obama, you'll get views, no problem. Or Trump, for example. But if we're in a niche market, and you have a few thousand followers, but YouTube is millions and millions of people. So this kind of format is not YouTube format. So, and it's why probably this is my thing. You go to a video version of podcast, and you have just few. And you think, oh, this is a great guy, it's fantastic. Why? Because YouTube is different. Yeah, it's why so many. I've seen so many. I think good podcasts, and maybe as a podcast version, maybe they prosper. But on a video, they don't, because format is wrong. Actually.
Yeah, so YouTube, they want to hear how to do something step by step. Podcasting is a different format; it's a different expectation. That is very smart.
Yeah, but YouTube, when it's live, it's a different story, because live gives you engagement. People ask questions, people see reaction, which is very, very important. Sometimes I've seen this people doing webinars, and they just have their own script, and they go with the script and everything. And people in the live chat, if they have live chat, sometimes they say, is it recorded already or something? So no, you really have to work with your audience during live. This is the difference. And as I said, webinar or podcast is not really YouTube format, but when it's live, is completely different. Because of engagement, and because someone can ask question and get straight answer. And another thing, someone can ask question, for example, Dennis, we're doing live webinar, and you explaining your $1 a day for Twitter advertisement. And someone asks intelligent question, you answer, and this someone later approach you, said, "Oh, Dennis, I watched your webinar. It was fantastic. I asked your question. I have follow-up question. What would you do?" You probably will answer. And how this guy can get access to your body, or to your brain in that case. And people, they underestimate this, don't really value this possibility. But some people, they do. I've seen, we've done plenty, 600 live webinars, more or less. And
Wow.
I've seen some people going into live chat, asking great questions, and after that asking questions later on YouTube or wherever, the same, and they basically became your friend, and they can use you later. But you're happy to be used because you're happy to because you get something in return, obviously, or at least attention.
Wow, that is amazing. Wow. Anton, so what other things do folks who want to be able to build influencer campaigns and marketing for their company need to know that we haven't discussed?
I don't know. We'll be doing it for an hour or something. For an hour or something. I probably told everything, but I think I would repeat what I started. I think it's not scalable. I think you don't have to go and do quantities. Just do quality relationship with particular with Dennis. So I would rather spend 2 hours talking to you on record and after you switch it off, then trying to send 2,000 emails. Maybe it takes me the same time.
Very smart.
So
I want everyone to hear what you just said. We're going to cut that video snippet and put it out there. I'd rather spend 2 hours in quality conversation one-on-one than share this.
There is something very interesting. Some company, I don't want to say any names, but I've seen it. Some companies deliberately prefer the other way. Why? They think it's much easier to have a team, faceless team. They're not faceless and everything, but team of not really of just the managers who would send templates, change a name, add maybe one line, so, "Oh, Dennis, how you doing? I hope you're doing great." Something like that. So try to personalize, but just a little. So and do this instead of having several people like me, for example, who would personally work with influencers. Why companies choose this? They're not idiots. They understand everything, but they still choose this, institutionally choose this. This is security. Because some companies, they think, okay, we have this guy who worked with 20 influencers and he became really, really big friend and everything. What will happen if he will leave or she will leave? We will have a big hole and we would know how to fill it.
Yeah.
So what if we do for less effective, half of the effective, but we will have a team, I don't want to say faceless, as a team of managers, team of easily replaceable managers, and we will send emails and everything. So you would work with this ex-company, big company, you work as influencer, and you don't really know who you're talking. You get email. If you think it's fine, you do it. If you think it's not fine, you don't do it. It's probably would be much less effective than if you know guy or girl who is talking to you. But it still would be working. Especially you can scale to 20,000 influencers or 2,000, whatever influencer. But for company as an institution, it's much more secure from this point of view. Because if this manager who is sending you templates will leave, you won't even notice. Because you didn't know her or him. You don't care. If as it was John and today is Mary, who cares? It's still the same template and still the same company. So I've seen reasonable amount of companies who would deliberately prefer this way.
Yeah, because it's more scalable. Well, Anton, it's been fantastic having you on the Coach You Show. I can't wait for us to chop up this episode and turn it into YouTube videos and blog posts and tweets and little Facebook snippets and put out there and honor you for being so smart in influencer marketing and helping our community.